How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Kai here. Today we're here for the second episode of the Arsenal discussion. Second week of the Premier League season, and we're kicking it off with a bang. Of course, as last week and as every week for this whole entire season, I've got my main man, my boy, Alistair Woods with me. How are you doing, Ali?
I am good. How are you, Guy?
I'm brilliant. I know you're a bit excited and a bit happy because not only are Arsenal winning for once, but on top of that, you've got a nice new dog or puppy,
Yeah,
Loki.
yeah, new addition to the family. Low key. Yeah, he's not quite mischief, but he's certainly sweet. So,
Main
so
question is
I
Loki a
hope he
gooner?
keeps it. Yes.
Good.
Although I'm gonna have to fend off opposition from my dad from becoming a Hull City fan. So pray to God that doesn't happen.
Alright, here's what you do. You get a whole City shirt and an Arsenal shirt, put them on the floor and see which one he shits on. That's the one that he hates. Um,
No, he'll go over to the couple of houses down of whom will be a Tottenham fan. So and then we'll just
ah,
that one.
ah, fair, fair. That's how we know his true allegiance, destroying the scum.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, anyway, a bit weird part of the start. Just wanted to get a few laughs in and whatnot. But yeah, of course, you know, if you watched the really long 2.5 hour episode the other day or last week, yeah, Arsenal won. No introduction to what this is. It's obviously just what we're going to be doing throughout the season, talking about good, bad, whatever to do with Arsenal. But yeah, Ali, recap. Newcastle away, 1-0 win, clean sheet. Still feeling confident, still feeling happy.
I am still feeling happy, ever more so with every single day that Pepe is in training. So yeah, so yeah,
Well,
I'm,
obviously,
I'm chuffed to bits.
not just with Pepe. Obviously, Rob Holding's just come back to full training. Bellerin and Tierney are starting light training, so they're a couple of weeks or a month away or whatnot. So there's a lot more
Yeah.
excitement to come. But of course, you know, the good stuff that comes there. Obviously, a little bit more of the negative that's been going on with the Özil and Kolasinac thing and whatnot. Obviously, they're just back into full training. They should be featuring this weekend. And obviously, I just wanted to get your sort of view on that. Like, are you happy that they're going to be back? Are you like sort of content with putting them straight back in, or do you think they need more time to sort of readjust after everything that's happened?
I would probably think. I guess over the years or situation, that's probably the mm, bigger main star that's coming out. That'll definitely be sort of in there, sort of starting 11 or at least bench. But I guess with the way that Willock played last week, to be honest, I feel like Özil's going to struggle to get back into that first team. Obviously, he looked good pre-season, but every single Arsenal fan's mind at the minute, including the manager, which I believe will probably be to start Willock in that starting 11. And of course, he did actually play last year, didn't he? In that Burnley match, that final match, didn't he? Or is it along with Eddie Nketiah when he scored his first Premier League goal? Um, so I think so. I'd probably give a good shout that Willock will start again, or at least a similar lineup that will start again at Burnley. But I guess it depends on what happens training otherwise and see if scenarios change. But
Yeah, yeah. Like obviously
but
based off of form, you don't want to break up a winning team, which obviously we'll get into in a
yeah,
minute. But
exactly.
obviously on top of that, I just mean in general with everything that's gone on with the attempted robberies, the knifing and whatnot, the arrests that happened outside his house the other day. Like, do you think it's too soon to be chucking him in, or do you think he needs more time to like mentally calm down from the whole situation? Like, what is your view on it? Because I hear some fans saying, well, he's on 350 grand a week. Why doesn't he just hire bodyguards and just go to matches? There's no real point of it, and blah blah blah. But on top of that, it's more about his safety and his family's safety. Like he's taken time away to make sure that everything's good or whatnot. Or do you think it's too early for him to be coming back? Or do you think this is like the right time to sort of like calm the situation down now and integrate him back in, him and Kolasinac, because they were both been
Yeah,
affected by this.
yeah. I think what's the more alarming thing was I think it was that obviously I feel like Kolasinac was given time off the club, but more on hers because I feel like he might have been more deeply affected by it because at the time the carjacking was meant to be Özil's car. Obviously, I would imagine that they anticipated Kolasinac to be there. Obviously, he was, and thank God he was, because Özil, scenarios, it could have been much worse than just him being affected. But I think more alarming thing was is that with Özil was that obviously I'm not sure if you saw, but about two people were later on arrested
Yeah, yeah. I just said that to
for
arrest
his
outside his
security.
house. Yeah, for his security.
Yeah, which which was more of an alarming thing, which is that it's not. We don't know if it's the same two individuals that did the carjacking, but it was but it's sort of alarming that both of them are.
Persistent.
It's
It's
almost
it's not a
seems
one-off.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah. It seems it's one thing. Oh yeah, all right. So it was just a carjacking. These things happen when you're literally a multimillionaire. But to then sort of just have another attack almost very quickly after, it's like security wise, yeah, you would be concerned. I mean, credit to Arsenal to obviously saying, yep, take the time off because it's not exactly normal for that to happen.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think, uh, yeah, I guess it's up to him whether if he's going to come back.
yeah.
Obviously they said, yeah, Ozil's going to come back. He's good to go. But obviously it's up to him on the scenario of the day. If he says this to his wife and kids, do you actually want to come all the way uh, to central London, to wherever they live? I'm not too sure. But
Yeah.
do you want to come into London where it's high risk and profile around that scenario? Because people now know who they are with everything that's going on. So
Like,
it's up to him. It's up to
yeah,
him.
it is up to him and it's up to Kolasinac as well. But obviously, on top of that, my only worry is like they get integrated back in and they end up having a bad few games for the next couple of weeks and everyone rips 10 times the crap out of them. But you know what Arsenal fans are like. Half the fan base love Ozil, half the fan base want him out the door. So it's like this whole entire situation, everyone needs to get behind both of their backs, but obviously Ozil's back as well because we know how quickly people switch on Ozil. And everything. So it's just like
Yeah,
you don't want this to be an excuse for people to be like, see, he's crap, 350 grand a week, he shouldn't be here, da 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 da. Because it's like you never know how long this is going to be affecting his mind and whatnot. You never know if he's concerned by going to matches and leaving his wife at home. Because on top of that, like, yes, he
mm,
can afford all the security in the world, but you don't want that in the back of your mind. Like, you have to hire security. You want to live in sort of happiness and peace where you can leave the house without needing, a presidential bodyguard system behind him. Like,
yeah. You
type
don't.
thing.
You don't want to be the United States president. So yeah, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get. Yeah. I guess it is that just that security measure. You shouldn't need that.
Like,
Especially someone of his stature. It's a sort of. It's not even. It's a football player.
yeah.
Like like he kicks a ball. He's not a governmental businessman that secretly gets people killed. So
Like,
all right, unless that esports thing and it just translates into something completely different.
yeah. No, like,
but
say like, after the international break, he's still in the team and he's playing bad. Obviously, yes, every fan's entitled to their opinion and criticism. Say, like, we go to. I don't know, I can't really remember the fixtures, but say, like, we have United at home. And we know he doesn't really
yeah,
turn up in the big games as it is. But say, like, if he has a terrible game that game, or whatnot, I know it's too far to look down the road, but say, like, if he has a terrible game after international break, few weeks, few months after this whole situation's died down and whatnot, are we all entitled to obviously criticise him and rip into him when this could still be affecting him? Or do you think like we're giving the benefit of the doubt then? Because it is a weird scenario. Because yes, he hasn't performed in the past, but this is now a completely different scenario. Like,
yeah. What's it? I think definitely. Well, very quickly. I think of it just ideal scenarios. Just comparing them to it can turn very quickly into a Di Maria situation where obviously he because obviously back especially towards the end of last season he was it was off. He would play one good game out of four. He'd play. It was very inconsistent in the way that he was playing, and so, but he's still a quality caliber player. If we're at home, or it might not necessarily be on our A game, he's definitely going to be on his A game. It seems to be the only games that he does play
Yeah.
decent on. So, so I think we need to, if 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 it comes obviously in time, is it if it give it another 3 months, 4 months down the line, and we see that he's fine, he's happy, but it looks fit, he's just out of here playing Fortnite. Credit to him, but if obviously I think probably ease it off now, whilst he's not, um, whilst he's recovering. So yeah,
Yeah.
it might it's just a time scenario.
Like, it sucks that they've been taken away for like footballing reasons and everything, but obviously it hasn't been able to help. But obviously, as you said before, it's helped people like Willock and whatnot shine and show their potential. And obviously that's what we're about to get into now, about the preview of the match and whatnot. But obviously, overall, like, what were you expecting this weekend? Are you expecting goals? Are you expecting a high class performance? Obviously, we're at home. We have a great home record, except from obviously the back end of last season when Mustafi
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Which obviously we know he's going to be nowhere near the lineup. But obviously, what were you expecting? Burnley at home. Like,
Burnley at home, lineup wise, I think that will stick. To the current 4-2-3-1. That probably is the best formation to move forward with. I guess it's because we know that Emery changes his system a lot in that 4-2-3-1. It gives him the most like dynamism. Is that a word? Dynamism.
the sort of like diamond effect.
So,
Like,
yeah. Well, obviously, I think the front three starting will probably be Uber, Willock, Pepe, and Nelson. Not sorry, Mkhitaryan. You can get out of this club. So, and then, and then. So yeah, I think like with Emery, he'll definitely, depending on how this first half goes, if Burnley turn out to be tough competitors to get past on that back line, then he has players to switch it up. He has
yeah.
like Caballos.
All right.
So yeah, I'm imagining if we could push for that first half with that front four, then I'm definitely positive that he'll do something to change that. So
Yeah. Obviously, we'll get
that's
into
what
the
I think, I
lineup.
really think.
We'll also get into the lineup in a sec. But overall, what do you think of the match? Do you think it's going to be a tough match? Because obviously, Burnley, they started off with a win last weekend, didn't they? Like, I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they put three past. I forgot who they played.
Southampton.
Southampton. Yeah, they put three past Southampton. Obviously, Burnley always caused us trouble in the past, like strength and whatnot, like brutality and everything. A lot of questions are going to be asked of our backline, and obviously, this is a key thing that I was going to ask you as well. Is like, obviously, we're at home. Obviously, we're going to try and chuck in some of the new boys and everything in our home crowd and everything. Give them like confidence, motivation, cheers, whatnot. But obviously,
Yeah.
would you change the back line in any way? Would you change it to a three back, try and integrate David Luiz in, or would you keep it as you just said, you'll keep it a four back? But does that mean you drop Chambers and put David Luiz in? Because Chambers played outstanding against Newcastle and he's looked good all pre-season, to be fair to him. So do you change the back line and chuck in a David Luiz or whatnot? Obviously, he threw his toys out of the pram with Lampard, because Lampard was saying like, hey mate, you're not going to be playing, so is he really going to... I know it's only 2 games into his Arsenal career, but obviously is he going to want to keep sitting on the bench when we got Liverpool next weekend and Spurs the week after, and he's going to want to be involved in them games? Or do you look at it and go, no, Chambers played well. If you're questioning the physicality, Newcastle had a very physical striker and they are a physical side as well. But obviously Burnley are a different calibre of team, to all due respect to Newcastle. So do you keep Chambers in or do you put David Luiz in?
I think it definitely. That is the scenario. The thing is, I I really don't see Chambers getting drops. Um, Especially for David Luiz. If he does play David Luiz, he's going to play a three back. That's my thoughts. But the thing is, I feel like with it's weird how you could take it from lots of different viewpoints with the Burnley game. Are you going to play with a three back, but playing with lots of midfielders? So you could have almost like a 3-5 or like a three
Oh, I
six
see what you
one
mean. Yeah,
essentially. So if you play with that ball playing three centre backs, Socrates you could play out from back. David Luiz most certainly can. Chambers looks like he's coming to grips with it. Um, and like those back three, they could definitely like just string a couple passes just to feed into like Xhaka or Ceballos if he starts or Guendouzi. So I definitely think
yeah.
like that sort of style it can work, but I guess it depends on are you gonna sacrifice one of the midfielders
Yeah.
for that scenario? But
Like,
but um, yeah,
no. Sorry, go on. Finish what you're saying.
no, no, it's just like yeah, I think here Emery has lots of different viewpoints to pull this attack to pull his attack going through. So um, but I think if he plays David Luiz, it's because David Luiz is so good in training and it's like might have just might have created a really good partnership with Socrates or Chambers. So, but I don't know. It could be a weird one because
Like,
definitely if he does play a three back, then you could definitely say for sure he's going to play Kolasinac at a left wing back role.
that's what I was about to say. It's a perfect time if he does go free back to integrate Kolasinac back into the team. Because we know Nacho isn't
Yeah,
really a wing back, he's more of an out and out left back type thing.
yeah,
So, but then at the same time, like, do we really need to go that defensive at home against Burnley? Like, they're not the paciest
yeah,
side, they're not going to get in behind. Like, the only time that they're really going to challenge is obviously from set pieces or hoofing it upfield route one to, like, sort of like the Stoke system where they knock it down and try and pick something off.
yeah,
Like,
mm, yeah. I guess that is one thing as well because yeah, what happens if because Burnley they've got obviously Chris Wood and
he normally
like
gives us problems,
striker.
doesn't he? Wood.
Yeah, Wood or Barnes, isn't it?
Yeah, him as
Can't
well,
remember. It's,
Barnes.
it's like a
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God.
It's alright, it's your dog.
Loki's barking. It's just
Yeah.
like yeah. That's the first time he's done that in about 24 hours. So
That's fine.
no, but I think it can be a I suppose weird position if
Yeah.
he does play a three back. Then yeah, are you going to play? Because if he does play a three back, then he could have the option of just playing two up front and have Pepe almost like a sort of like a free roam
Yeah.
player, but like put him out on the right. But it's like
I,
it could take a lot of options, and I think
yeah.
that's what a manager should have, a lot of
Yeah.
options to play.
Like, it's a nice headache to have at the moment. Like, oh, who's going to be starting here and there? Like, for once in years, like, we had a very good, strong bench against Newcastle. And you need to think of the amount of players that started against Newcastle. Only like 4 or 5 of them actually first team players. And
Yeah,
obviously it shows what we got on bench and reserve. And obviously, as we spoke about, Bellerin, Holding, Tierney, all these players that come back defensively and whatnot. Smith Rowe attackingly, or Mavropanos, another
yeah,
defensive option or whatnot. So there is a lot to come back in the next couple of weeks, as we said before in the last discussion. Like, it is like going to be exciting over the next couple of months when everyone is fully fit and challenging for places. But on top of that, obviously we're going to go
mm,
straight into like the sort of like 1 to 11 now. Like, Emery has loads of different choices, but obviously as you said before, you'd keep it a 4-2-3-1. Like, you'd keep it that sort of
yeah,
system. So obviously I'm guessing in goal there's only one choice, Leno. Like,
yeah. Of course, yeah. I like to say, although I would like to see Martinez start Europa League.
yeah, I think he'll
Which
be
I think,
Europa
which I,
keeper and cup keeper. this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've already started seeing on Instagram that Martinelli is already making friends with him. Obviously, he's both
Well,
South
we've also got
American,
Matt
so.
Macy. He hasn't gone out on loan this season. He's third choice keeper.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
there's definitely a lot of options.
obviously,
So
yeah. So Premier
getting
League first choice, Bert Leno. You're going goal, yeah. Like there's no issue
yeah,
with Leno. All right.
of
So
course.
right back. Obviously, we know Bellerin's a few weeks away, so it's going to be Ainsley. Right
Yeah,
back. Obviously, had a
right back,
brilliant game against
right wing
Newcastle.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, we move into the two in the middle. You go in with
Uh,
Papa and Chambers, or would you say screw
yeah.
it and put Louise in?
I, I,
Right.
I would say I would say Chambers. Whilst he's on a good run of form, he looked strong. It's definitely against Joeliton. Obviously, he'll be full of adrenaline to impress on his day, and sort of just control that, and sort of just like if whenever he charged for the ball, he was right up behind him. So I think
Yeah.
so definitely Chambers. I think
You
it will make a good choice.
the other point as well is like you don't want to change your winning back line, especially when they just got a clean sheet as well. The confidence is there. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah,
so.
I guess yeah. Actually, straight after a clean sheet as well, that they and of course I think if he performs well against Burnley and a clean sheet there, 2 clean sheets in 2 games, that's something that's pretty much unheard of.
And that's a lot of confidence
Even,
going into Anfield away and Spurs at home.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah, it might not just be a slaughterhouse, although
yeah.
I'm not. I'm keeping my hopes high. The
Don't worry, Ali.
will
Don't worry.
pull
Like
a surprise.
don't worry. We'll be talking about Liverpool next week. We can cry next week
Yeah.
and have PTSD. But we're talking about Burnley now. So yeah, we're keeping. So I guess we're in agreement. The whole back line is going to stay the same. Obviously, there's Nachos. If we're playing a four back, Nachos staying in left back because you're not going to want to
Yeah.
play Kolasinac in a back four. As we just said, he's more of a
Yeah.
wing back than a left back. This is where it starts getting tricky. The midfield. Obviously, Xhaka's one of Emery's captains.
Yeah.
So I'm,
He's
and
not clicking.
he's not going to get dropped, but you know my views on it. Like, but then at the same time, you don't want to change a winning team too much. But then you need to think Torreira needs minutes, Guendouzi needs some more game time, Caballos or Danny, however you want to say it, he needs. I want to see more of him. I want to see him pulling them strings. Like, who do
Yeah.
you go as the two then? Who do you go as?
I think, to be fair, scenario is it's a weird one, especially if Guendouzi, because now that midfield is packed, I think we're en route to at least getting what we said like a couple of like 4 or 5 years ago was like the golden years of that midfield where there was so many choices and we could just
Oh, you mean when it was
and
like
we
Rosicky, Fabregas, Nasri, Wilshere,
yeah.
like
Or even yeah, or even the Santi Cazorla era where we had Santi, who
Arteta?
else we had left mid.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's even Arteta at the time. He wasn't fantastic. But it wasn't bad, but
yeah,
obviously yeah, Brzezinski, as you said, even his prime, when he could just pull a goal like he did against Tottenham, and thank
yeah,
Christ he did. Um, so I think it's like we're definitely back on route to having that midfield dominance as we did because I'm pretty sure there's Emery Emery Arsenal fan my English Emery
yeah,
Arsenal fan was agreeing at the time, yeah, for about 3 years ago we had the best midfield of the Premier League. We could even sort of mildly boast, like Guardiola would be jealous, but obviously we're in the laughing stock now. But
yeah. So obviously, as your two, who would you go at the moment?
uh, to be honest, I would stick with what we had in Newcastle, Xhaka and Guendouzi. It
Okay,
might be a bit controversial, but I think with with the way that Guendouzi looked last week, sort of just that midfield, um, he's able to have the confidence to, and if a player's coming in too close to him, he has the capability just to skip away from him.
Yeah,
I think that
I
that's that I think that's definitely good, especially against Burnley, because I
yeah
think yeah he has that class act, he has the mentality to get back up again,
yeah
which I'm not saying that Caballos might definitely does not have, but I think whilst we have a player that does that, shouldn't we just use it anyway? Because then we're just playing a risk if we play Caballos in that role.
yeah.
Um,
Like
so yeah, that's what I would go with. What do you think?
I feel like I agree in a sense because I feel like Guendouzi and Xhaka work well together because Guendouzi cleans up after Xhaka. I feel like if you put someone like Torreira there, Guendouzi is going to get exposed more because he's not really cleaning up. He needs to actually do something and everything.
Mm.
Like with Xhaka, Guendouzi has the legs to help Xhaka and everything. While when Torreira's there, Torreira's got all the energy in the world. So Guendouzi's kind of like, what do I do here? Like he tries to push a little bit more forward, while when he's got Xhaka next to him, he tries to stay more restricted and everything.
Yeah,
Um, like obviously, I feel like we'll move into the cam position in a minute, but obviously I think we both agree, based off of before going fully into it, like Willock should stay in there. But I feel like if we were to put Danny in or Caballos in, however you want to say it, as I keep saying, I feel like maybe you could
yeah,
challenge Xhaka with Willock. I feel like Xhaka's in danger of being dropped for Willock and everything. So I would might even put Torreira and Willock as the two sit in there to try and give
maybe,
Caballos a chance at cam. Like
yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot of options. I think Willock wherever he plays. Um, Which I think it's a difficult scenario though
yeah,
with Willock, because obviously you haven't, although he's like played well when he's like he sort you can sort of see that link with Nelson and Uber and a little bit with Mkhitaryan, but I feel like that's going to change. But I think even so, it's like is it his position? Because even when we're in the defensive, he falls back, he retreats,
that's what I'm saying. If you have him a little bit further back, like
yeah, he could essentially he could be like a box to box midfielder.
Ramsey's
Which
replacement.
something that yeah, yeah, exactly, and obviously Ramsey definitely could play at that Xhaka role. So I think it's a weird one. But I think for me, Willock where he is at the moment to sort of start
Yeah,
in that cam position, because I think definitely with the incentive of Emery, um, if Willock isn't performing like creatively, if we're dominating if possession and we're trying to string passes and and we can't get past that two blocks of four, then
yeah,
then he has then us with Özil coming back, he might just say, yeah, let's just play Özil because this is pretty much a dead ball specialist.
yeah.
Um, so I think
So
it's tactical.
overall,
So
so overall, you're going with Xhaka Guendouzi again, yeah? As the
yeah,
two.
yeah. Overall, yeah, yeah,
I'm going with
yeah.
Xhaka, surprisingly, but I'm gonna put Willock next to him. I want to see how that looks. I want to see if Willock can try and cover Xhaka, but also how quickly he can change from defensive into attack to carry the ball into the space for someone like Caballos or Özil to quickly get a quick pass or quick ball into and everything.
Yeah.
So that's my two, Xhaka, Willock, and you're going with Xhaka or Guendouzi.
Yeah.
So obviously we move into the three in front type thing.
Yeah.
So right hand side, I think we're both in agreement. Mkhitaryan out.
But
Get in the bin, like go to Dortmund or something, and
just bench.
or no,
I don't
just
really care.
gone fully.
Out of the starting 11. I seriously
I
don't think come on, make on the sub, but like yeah, just out of that starting
just
11.
like the thing is with Mickey is like he'll pop up with a goal every now and then, and it's just like I just don't see that at the moment. I just don't see him scoring against anyone, to be honest. Like, we go on about
Yeah.
selling players to the championship and whatnot. I don't even think he like would he even get into Villa's team or someone like that, or even look at Burnley? Would he even get to Burnley's team like at this point? Like, I don't think so. So honestly, yeah, I drop. Sorry, go on. Like,
So no, it's like, but I think it's a weird one because not a weird one. It's evident. Um, he's not great, but I think
he's
the
never hit his
part is,
form in
it's
the
like
Prem.
yeah, yeah. But the weird thing is, it's like every single time he's in that moment where he needs to make a pass to a front to Uber, he could somewhat just pull it off almost every single time.
Yeah, but as soon as
It's
it's someone
actually
else that
frustrating.
isn't Uber, he can't
Yeah,
pass.
it's like what? Yeah, it's like because obviously he's a specialist. I think it's evident he can put a ball in behind. Um, because like we've seen it too many times to count where I think he pulled a pass or cross every single time when Uber's like on the end of it. He'll always cross it and it'll just weave back into him. It will look fantastic. But the thing is that it's like you only get one of those almost once or twice every game, and it's like
You need more than
and,
just
and,
trying
and,
to pick
and,
out
and
one guy.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. You
you need the
yeah,
drive at players as
it's,
well. Like,
yeah, yeah. Which I think, to be fair to him, it's another like space. So if you give him space, he's like he could sometimes probably like a third of the time actually like move into space, but like majority of the time he'll just like either the who's their left back Peters will just clamp him out and still win the ball and without a
yeah.
foul. So it's like you're not really helping yourself, are you, mate? Just even just clear it. Just you look better than just giving the ball away.
Yeah. So we're both in agreement of starting the new boy, Pepe, 72 million. He has to be starting. I want to see this guy
Yeah,
tear teams apart. Like, he needs to get in his rhythm. Like, if
yeah,
he's as good as everyone's been hyping him up to be, I wanna see some tears. I wanna see some goals, some
yeah,
assists. Like, I wanna see it.
yeah,
Like, and I feel like he may surprise a few people because I think Burnley may be sitting there looking at it like, oh, like he's unknown, he's a like French kid, like they don't tackle hard in French league, and I want to see them try and clamp him out and he just bodies them back. Like, nah, I'm up for the fight. So
yeah. I thought it's
we're
like, but
gone.
sorry, but I'm just gonna quickly like I actually like we're fairly frustrated with that argument. I mean, they're like, obviously, oh yeah, French league is not really strong and hard. It's just it's full of like not very physical players, but surprisingly, I was watching a little bit of Sky and I'm like, well, and surprisingly now, Sky is an interesting channel to watch, especially with Jose Mourinho on it because like, oh god, static electricity
It's
is
fine.
coming through my microphone. Uh, it's I was watching Jose Mourinho now, who I feel like is an actual god amongst children. When he sits next to Phil Neville and Jamie Carragher,
Yeah,
it's like all these pundits like saying this, that, and the other. I just feel like Mourinho actually knows what's going on.
yeah,
So it's like, and he was saying about the French league because he didn't go on um he didn't go on to see Premier League matches, especially what happened after Man United. Um, he was spending a lot of time in the French league, and he was saying like Pepe is a very talented player, and like obviously depending on how he'll adjust to the English league, it could be a completely different scenario. But
yeah,
majority of the time, players might hit the ground running. Like if we could just think of like a couple, just off the top of my head, um, Lacazette when he came in, he already knew that the Premier League, he was almost like built for that, like almost like a Sanchez kind of player where it was just small but beefy. It would take a
yeah,
struggle to push him off. Um, and obviously, even for Uber, like obviously he started his career in League One and then moved to the German league, and you could say, oh, what about the same about German league? But it's sort of similar routes. So I think even still, he transitioned brilliantly, and uh, I can't believe I'm about to say this, and Dembele. Unfortunately, he scored on his debut, and like he looks physically built. So I feel like a lot of these is a lot of these arguments about the French league not being of physicality is I feel like our players can adapt it particularly well.
Yeah.
And they will watch me chew my words with Alison Maximin, where he ends up putting a over.
No,
So
yeah. So overall, is it the right time to trap Pepe? And yes or no? Like, would you have him there?
yes,
All right. Yeah, I'd put
I,
him as
I
well.
think so.
Cam position. You said a minute ago Willock, and I said Caballos. Like similar type of players.
I,
Caballos will ping a ball more than Willock, but Willock's got that drive and fight. So,
yeah,
are you going with Willock?
it might.
Or
I'm going with Villa, but then
all right.
again, like if Caballos starts, I'm not going to argue with it because obviously Burnley they'll just sit on their ass the entire game looking for a draw, potentially a win. So just like for like a late push, but it really depends tactically.
All right.
I guess scenario tactically.
I think this next
But
one's
yeah,
gonna cause controversy, though. Uh, left mid.
left mid or
Are
left
you
wing.
keeping Reese in, or are you putting Uber wide? Like you going all out, or are you keeping Reese?
I'm keeping Reese. I'm keeping
Same,
Reese.
same.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I think definitely with this scenario, I feel like Uber. uh, Well, I haven't seen them accept it, but obviously with this 4-2-3-1, it is evident that the 4-2-3-1 it needs to happen because obviously this the scenario with the three back it became too desperate at times, and obviously what was our biggest criticism from last year? Not enough goals from midfield. You're not going to be doing yourselves any favors if you're starting two up top. Not saying that it's like, but they're going to get us goals. But can we get the same amount of goals with, or even more with Uber, and with a quality back three? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
so yeah,
it's not even that. I want to keep Reese in. I want to see what he does. I want to see him drive and skill and be wide. Like it's his time to sort of shine. He didn't put a foot wrong against Newcastle. Maybe one or two moments, as me and you discussed. He needed to not panic, like hold on to the ball a bit more, release it at the right time, sort of thing. But obviously, I think it will just boil down to who we pick up front, which obviously we'll choose in a sec. But obviously, with Pepe one side and Reese the other, I think that's going to be terrifying, especially when you need to think about it. They are two wingers that no one know a lot about in the Prem. Like, yes, they know that Reese went out on loan to Hoffenheim or whatnot, but they don't actually know what he can do. So as he's developing and Pepe's developing and stamping their foot on the Prem, I think it's
yeah,
honestly the first time in years where we're going to have pace and skill and power down wings. And that, with the combination with the two strikers that we have, it's going to be terrifying. But obviously,
yeah,
I think like I'm going straight into it. I'm picking Uber for up front for this game. Like, the
yeah,
guy has
yeah,
been
yeah,
on fire. Like honestly,
yeah. He has.
pre-season banging them in. But the thing is, as well as me and you discussed it at the end of last season, we need to go back to where one striker starts. I know they have a great relationship, but we need to go back to where one starts and one's on bench. I know they're not going to be happy about that, but at the same time, you need power to
It's
come off the
best what's for the
bench.
team.
It's best. It's what's
Yeah.
best for the team. Like you need someone that explode off the bench, and you need goals from the bench as well. But on top of that, Uber has never properly in his Arsenal career, unless his debut counts, because obviously that's when he played through the centre, was his first couple games because Lacko was injured. But honestly, now that we got the width, Uber's best position is striker when we have good wingers and everything. You look at it
Yeah.
at his time at Dortmund and before then and whatnot. Yes, he came into Dortmund as a winger, but when they established him as the striker and Royce wide and like Pulisic when he broke through, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Uber was banging goals because the width and the balls coming in from wide. You saw it last week with Ainsley, with the ball into the middle, what Uber can do from the middle. You saw it last season with the Leicester goal at the Emirates when Bellerin whipped it across. And Uber was just there. It's his natural instinct. We can't keep wasting. The guy got 31 overall goals, basically as a left winger last season. 22 in the Prem, the rest in the Europa League and the FA Cup and whatnot. Imagine the amount of goals he can get playing as a central striker in his natural, well-known position. And with the way he's been looking, this guy may smash it. This guy may just tear the league apart this season even more than he already has and everything. And that's no offense to Lacko. Like, I think Lacko can still do a job. I love Lacko to pieces. You love Lacko. Out of the two, you prefer Lacko. But at this point in time, when Uber's doing the business, oof.
It says like it's got me gassed now.
Like,
but yeah, it's just like it really does come down to it. It's like you know how much I love Lacko. I've got him his signature just on top of my TV. Like, he's my favourite player in that Arsenal line. But if it comes to that scenario, I'm not saying Lacazette isn't bad, but like being perfectly honest, it might just be that Lacazette really has never really had a string of games. But I think just from the time of Uber playing, and when he has played at striker, he just looks unstoppable. It really is. Like, and obviously, if in case scenarios change, and it's a team that just sit on their arse, Lacazette seems to pull one out of the bag. You just bring him on bench, burst him to go. But the thing is with Uber, he's like you could pit him up against any defender in the Premier League, and he'll more than likely
he'll sit them on their arse.
He'll beat them. Yeah. He is Aguero.
The only test is next weekend is against Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Which obviously we'll get into next week, especially if Adrian and Alisson are both injured or whatnot still by next weekend. But obviously we'll get into that next weekend. But sorry, go on, continue with what you're saying about Uber. I just think with Uber, like he just has that pure striker instinct. Not many players have it, especially at this kind of level where they just whenever there was a cross at the end of it, he almost instinctively knows. It was the same scenario against Newcastle. Obviously, we had this discussion of last week in the last episode, saying that when he backheeled it, no one or someone else backheeled it. No one was there to scrap up the pieces. I believe it was him, but it was and obviously when he did that backheel, he was like complaining, "Where is everybody?" If there were two Lackers on the pitch or two Ubers on the pitch, his duplicate self would have just finished that. That would have been a golden plate for him. But the thing is as well. The thing that I look at it, and I say this so much, and me and you said it for years, like when each season that we went in, and like everyone knows this, and I know some people will be like, "Oh, you're just saying that," but no, like honestly, why didn't we get Uber years earlier, when no one was coming in for him? Like everyone has underrated him so much, but the thing is like me and you were screaming out for like the past 4 years, like no one's got Aubameyang from Dortmund yet. Go get him. And I honestly think if we had him 4 or 5 years ago, Omri's record would be at risk. Omri's 228 goal record for the club would be at risk. If Uber had a few more years, I think he's still got 2-3 years at the top level as it is, but like if he had like 5 more seasons at Arsenal, 6 more seasons, he'd smash Omri's goal record. Hands down. Like he would destroy it. You look at Aguero at City, with the amount of years he's had and the amount of goals that he's scored, I think Uber would do more than Aguero. And that's no offence to Aguero, because I think Aguero has been a brilliant servant to the Premier League. But I think if we had Aubameyang a few more years earlier and a few more integration with this club and this team and everything, because that's the most important thing that I think him and Aubameyang, he is Aubameyang, I think him and Lacazette have done, is connect with the fans as well. on a personal level.
True.
They
Yeah.
know what the club is like. That's something that we haven't seen since the Omri days, Pires days, where they connect and click with the fans and can have banter with the fans and care about the fans. Like, not saying the people that have
Yeah.
been here haven't given a crap, but I honestly think if he was here a few more years earlier, stuff would be at risk.
Yeah.
Like, records would be at risk
Yeah.
and everything. So, but also the way in which I look at it as well is like I said, like I've said it a few years ago to you. It's like we deserve two world class strikers. Why can't we have two world class strikers? Everyone's already going on about Uber's starting, so sell Lacquer. Why can't we have two world class strikers? You look at every other big club over the years; they've had two world class strikers. Look at City; they got Jesus and Aguero. United over the years have had, like, I know they don't play up front, but like Martial can play up front, Rashford can play up front, Lukaku who was there. They have 3-4 different choices for up front and everything. But the thing on top of that is, with Eddie going out on loan, we need something off the bench, and that's why I think Lacko or Uber they'll rotate between the bench because we need something late on in the game. Because last season we saw it a lot, where if we started both of them, it'll get late on in the game, and we'll look towards the bench and we'll be like, crap. This is everything we've got in the team already. We can't bring anyone on. Like,
Yeah.
especially when
Yeah.
Welbeck got injured as well. Was like, crap, we've got nothing. So we need to pick a goal
Yeah.
from the people that are already starting. So everyone got burnt out even more because they had to play the 90 minutes and everything. So it's like now that we've actually got the depth as well. Because don't forget, we've got Martinelli as well, which he'll slowly be integrated in. But it's just like, as you said the other day, it's more of a wide option.
Yeah, also, yeah, I think, yeah, but just I guess just on that Martinelli, I definitely do see him. Although he did replace Reece, was it Reece? He replaced
Yeah.
replaced Willock. I think Caballos replaced Reece, but
Yeah, but then obviously
I
Martinelli
think,
rotated to wide and Caballos went
yeah,
middle. Yeah.
yeah, I think, but I could definitely me personally, I could definitely see Martinelli as like a future striker, that
Oh, definitely.
almost like that Gabriel Jesus kind of player that there where because I think definitely in the future he just looks that kind of player where he knows where the danger is,
Yeah.
like that he's got that
He's
poacher
not
instinct,
afraid.
but he'll have the technicality of the David Jesus. So I think that's brilliant potential that we got there, and obviously with Reece, he could he could play like a full,
Yeah.
I don't know, like anywhere on the attacking front three, but like I think it's, oh my goodness, there's so much,
It's
there's
exciting.
so much
It's
to talk about
exciting.
front.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. The only worry is that the fucking backline. But, you know. So, yeah, we're just going to run through this again.
Van Dijk.
We're just going to run through this again, then I get a prediction for the match. But obviously, in goal, Leno. Yep. We're both in agreement.
Yeah.
Same backline as last week. So, Ainsley, Socrates, Chambers, Monreal. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
The two in midfield, this is where me and you had our little moment. We both agree Xhaka, because we don't see him getting dropped anytime soon because he's one of Emery's captains and whatnot. But you go with Guendouzi, I go with Willock. That'll be interesting who he actually puts there. Late on in the game, I hope Torreira comes on, gets a few minutes before Liverpool and whatnot.
Yeah.
The three in front, we both agree Pepe because Mkhitaryan is dog wank. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
you said Willock at Cam,
Thanks so much.
and I said Caballos
Yeah.
at Cam. Which will be interesting if Ozil can come on.
Tactical scenario.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting if Ozil comes on. Left mid, we both agree Reece, and we both agree keep Uber up front. But obviously, late on, try and get Lacquer on, get him some minutes as well, because he needs some minutes after that injury.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you predict for scoreline? Because Burnley always score against us, or do you think for once we're going to keep another clean sheet? Like,
I think we have a good chance of keeping a clean sheet. I think with the slight worry of which I'm actually a little bit concerned of is Goodmanson. But
yeah,
but I definitely think with the way that our front our midfield trio, it'll be Xhaka, Guendouzi, or Willock or Caballos.
yeah,
Is it we can block out that midfield, and for Monreal he might not necessarily as much as push to press to like that central midfield there where he'll have space. We have the capability to sort of just squeeze that midfield to make errors.
Yeah.
Which could play in our hands so much when we're pressing, because we'll have the pace, we'll have Uber, we'll have Willock, the passion
Yeah.
to get the ball back, and I guess overall I like just on the basis of that of a prediction, what could be the scoreline? I'm thinking like a solid 2-0, honestly.
So you're predicting another clean sheet?
Yeah, I think we could definitely keep a clean sheet with Papa and Chambers looking really good against Newcastle. I think, and keeping control of that game. Once we grab the first goal, we are immediately in control, because now we have that. Because obviously Socrates has said all of last year and in Newcastle game, it was fight till the very end until we get that clean sheet.
Well, we're going to have a
So,
lot more of the possession as well. Because Burnley are just going to want to
Yeah.
sit back. Like,
Yeah. But yeah,
so you think 2-0?
2-0, potentially 3.
I agree, 2-0. I feel like we may possibly get another clean sheet, but if we were to score a third, I see us turning off and them getting a goal. So I'm either going to go with my heart says 2-0, but my head says 3-1. But overall, yeah, I see us getting another 3 points. That's no disregard to Burnley, but we need 6 points out of 6 before we go to Anfield and Tottenham at home. Like, we need to get max points as it is at the moment, because obviously City play Tottenham and blah 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 and whatnot. But we need to carry on our brilliant start to the season. So
Yeah.
I see us winning at the end of the day, but either 2-0 or 3-1. My heart says 2-0, my head says 3-1. So
Fair, yeah.
yeah, that's the predictions for the game. Before we end it here, I just wanted quickly to as I just said, predictions or whatnot. I want us to predict our top 6 and our bottom 3. So obviously, if you want to start off with
Oh yeah.
our top 6,
Yeah.
I think we're both in
Our top
agreement. It's going to be another year of City dominance. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's a weird one though. Like I said, I guess yeah, I think it might be tied again. Yeah, but yeah, I think chances are definitely City. But then again, it depends if City are going to push for the Champions League. But even still, it's not like you have to put all your eggs in a basket for City when it comes to Champions League. They have the capability to rotate and still.
that's the
keep
thing.
both
That's the thing I was about to say.
tournaments
Even though they are two teams that barely recruited in the summer, yes, City brought Cancelo and Rodri or whatnot. They've got incredible depth though. The only team out of the two for the title, I feel like City push it because Liverpool don't have that depth up front. No disrespect to Shaqiri, Origi, and that new guy that they just signed, like that really young striker or whatnot. But they have not got the strength and depth up top to cope for a long-term injury if Salah or Mane or Firmino get a long-term injury. I think they've been very fortunate over the past couple of seasons that their front three haven't had injuries. So if they were to have an injury this season, they haven't got the depth like City, because we all know Aguero is going to get a long-term injury at some point. Every season he gets a little niggle for a couple of weeks, but City cope. They put Jesus up there, they put Sterling up there. They're missing Sane this season, but that's more of a chance for Mahrez to shine, and then they have Bernardo Silva, then they have De Bruyne, and it's just utter madness.
It's actually scary now, yeah. It's actually scary now because even now that they put Sterling up front, it's just like, what?
If you told me a few years ago Sterling could fit up front, I would have laughed in your face because he didn't score goals a few years ago. He drive and skilled. It's the Iwobi effect, like we discussed in the last discussion. It's the Iwobi effect with Sterling. It's like He has all this skill and all this pace and all this trouble, but he has no end product. But now Pep's unlocked that door. Jesus Christ. Like,
Next Messi.
don't. Like,
I saw a BBC report and it was like, oh yeah, the only comparable thing was like about 20 assists.
like,
And, like, because Messi had like 200 goals at that age.
like the thing is, we'll get into like other cup competition predictions in the next couple of weeks when they start up and everything. Like, we'll predict them when they start up, so like Europa League, Champions League, or whatnot. But
Yeah.
for now, for the Premier League, I think so. What? Yeah, we're both in agreement. City first. Yeah, like they're gonna win it again. Like, second, are we putting Liverpool because both their keepers are out injured. They're first the next couple of weeks. So
Yeah, well, I still think Liverpool, but that's
Liverpool.
the thing. Although with the Adrian thing, is that's the thing, because apparently just a fan might have just kicked him. That really is, or like, I think someone not a fan, clearly wasn't a fan, must have been a Chelsea fan, but a pitch invader just kicked his ankle.
yeah,
And he said that he was in a little bit of pain, but he could still walk on it. That's the thing.
yeah, but he's only a doubt. He's not out. Like,
Yeah, but I to be honest, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
But then again, even still, it's a big miss on Alisson because he was
he's so integral.
integral. Yeah,
Yeah.
integral to that team to actually have it work, even the confidence out of the back.
His passing range, his saves, like everything. Like, him and Van Dijk have such a knowledge together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
It's a world-class keeper, and you'll inevitably miss him when you're playing Adrian, the next Vorm,
Yeah,
the next Lloris.
the thing is as well is, like, we said it like off camera or whatnot, that Liverpool have looked dodgy at the back throughout all of pre-season and even the start of the season against Norwich. Yes, they battered them in the first half, but they did look shaky in the second. Like, Norwich were causing them problems, and I don't know if that's because Trent and Robertson are, just easing back in. But I've been saying it for all summer, and I said it last season to you. In my eyes, Liverpool, yes, Gomez, or Gomes, however you want to say it, the English kid who's come through them as well. Yes, he looks like a good prospect, but I think they need another world-class centre-half to pair up next to Virgil. Like,
Yeah. Or at least like someone that could provide help.
Yeah.
Competition.
Yeah.
To Gomez, so like another a seal.
yeah.
It's actually a perfect. That would be a perfect sign. Obviously, Bayern Munich wouldn't sell him because obviously they've literally got two centre backs at this point. But a player of that caliber would be perfect.
Yeah.
So,
But obviously,
Or
with a
just-
dodgy backline as it is, with not knowing if your first choice keeper's going to be there, that's where I think that, and the depth, that's why I feel like they're going to drop off for the title. But I 100% think, it's going to be them two up there again. They are, like, I think maybe we could close ground on Liverpool, like, with this whole dodginess and like if and buts. But I feel like at the end of the day, if they were fully fit and like fully going like normal, then nah, it's them two up there. I think
Piers.
City
pick
first,
up
Liverpool second. But
Yeah.
third place, this is the one where it's kind of like,
Because they're like 16, one's like 4 teams are competing for that.
do we go?
Fourth?
In my eyes, these two spots are between 3 teams:
Yeah.
United,
Us.
Scumbags, and us. So
Yeah.
the thing is,
Even potential for Chelsea.
nah, I don't.
Or at least because
I'm not writing off Lampard, but
although 4-0, they looked good first half, but I think that's the thing. It can hit a Conte. It can hit a Conte if they lose a couple of games as Conte did. They could just go on and win the rest.
no, I
It might
know.
just be too early in the season to judge, and
But the
obviously
thing
not
is-
many
is-
people,
I know.
he hasn't ever got that capability.
Yeah, I know he's trying to play the youth system because he can't buy anyone. But where's Batshuayi? Like, I rate Batshuayi, or whatever his fucking name is. Like, I rate him. Why isn't he starting? Like, Abraham, all due respect to him, I think Abraham should be starting. Like, I fully agree with that because he looks quick, he's young, da da da. But on top of that, it's like Batshuayi would finish these chances that Abraham's missing and everything. Giroud
Yeah.
is Giroud. He'll always nick a goal. We know that from his time at Arsenal. He'll nick a goal, but then he'll go missing or whatnot. But I just feel like Lampard hasn't got enough. I feel like Kante is going to be too much relied on in that midfield this season, and he's going to burn out and everything. Especially when the Champions League kicks in as well. If they somehow make it through the group stage of the Champions League, like, and they're playing like Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, they're going to burn out. Plus the FA Cups and whatnot, they're going to burn out. And that's why I don't think they're in this talk for third or fourth. Like, maybe for fifth or sixth, then yeah, cool. But for the third and fourth spots, nah, I think it's out of these three clubs, as I just mentioned. So, yeah, third place, who are you going?
I think, it's actually annoying. I'm going to say us. Because
Us?
I really do, but I think we have the percent capability to finish third, better than majority of teams. Although Man United, I don't want to say Man United because obviously I don't like them. Even still, they have a brilliant chance, but I think it really much depends whether if they're going to be good against these lower level teams. Because even still, they didn't.
Yeah, they got Wolves this week.
Against
Wolves
they
batter
didn't
'em.
play well against. Yeah, they didn't play well against Chelsea first half, and that was evident because defensive. Then whilst they said, "Oh, Harry Maguire was this, that, and the other," like, when I initially heard how the Man United game went down, it was Man United didn't really play particularly well in that first half, and then they pulled it back in the second half, and apparently Harry Maguire looked decent. It's it's easy to look decent against a player who's.
But is that because Chelsea had nothing up front?
Yeah, exactly. Because like he's not pitted up against Aubameyang or Aguero.
Fuck me! Can you imagine that? Oh my god.
He's not getting compared to the likes of that, and they say, oh yeah, but he looks defensively solid. But he played well at the high level of England, and he didn't. I'm taking that if solving our defence was John Stones at the World Cup, he was inevitably the glue in which of that entire back three not collapsing, because Kyle Walker, he didn't look like a centre back at the time, and Harry Maguire had only taken a few steps out of his box to look like a midfielder.
Yeah.
But that's the revelation that I had, and he just looked half decent from corners. So it's just I still don't believe he's this A-class centre back. The move might have like boosted his ego and increased his confidence, but I don't think it's gonna necessarily turn him into a Van Dijk, because like that 80 mil price tag, if they got him for 40 mil, he might just have the same effect. 80, 40, 20. The fee doesn't.
Look, at the end of the day, they paid the fee. Like, they've got the guy.
Yeah.
It just depends on how he plays this season. But obviously, third place, you're going with us.
Yeah.
I feel like we can push that spot, but it truly depends on what our defence is like when everyone's back. Like, at this point in time with the defence that we got, I don't think we're good enough for third. But once you add Tierney, Bellerin and Holding into the mix as well, I feel like, we are up for it. Because I think Spurs are starting to get exposed at the back. I think, obviously, as we discussed before, Eriksen is not wanting to stay. He clearly wants to go. Alderweireld's just running out his contract by the looks of it. Vertonghen's aging. Lloris has fallen off the bobble and has become an alcoholic because how much stress he's under, and it's just
And so,
like they're just trying to improve the midfield. That's all they've done. They haven't improved the strike force either. Like
yeah,
Kane's their only
and
striker. If Kane gets injured,
that's that is one thing that is people are apparently starting to say. Oh, Tottenham have improved uh with with their with their depth, and like, are you actually being serious? They just removed the only depth that they had at striker.
yeah. So
Lorente, and he looked half decent towards the end of the
so
season. Then it's like,
yeah. So
we're like, I
we're
don't know where
both in
this money coming from.
agreement. We're both in agreement. Us third. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fourth.
I definitely think we have capability. Um, Fourth,
Scum or
I'd
United.
probably say I have to say Scum.
I would have to say Scum. As
Uh,
much as I want them to drop out, but I think up front they are a lot more solid than United. Like
I think no, I think they have that. Oh, come
that
on,
little edge.
that little edge and just the resilience because at the high level. I wish I could say, oh, can Man United just knock and Chelsea knock them out?
Yeah.
I drop them to sixth, but
So if,
the thing is, yeah, I think definitely against this against Aston Villa, as soon as they open up a little bit of space, and as soon as they like get into the game a little bit, that's the difference. Because against Brighton, it was the same. It was the same match. Brighton last year, remember that when they were winning 1-0, and it came to the very, very last minute of the game for them to scrap a draw, an undeserved draw out of it, because it was like the same as Harry Kane's second goal, not second goal, the second goal in the match. But it was just like, it was just like, can this not, can
yeah.
these teams just wait up?
So yeah, we're in agreement then. Scumbags fourth. So what? Are you saying United fifth and Chelsea sixth? Or do you think maybe Lampard's got enough to outdo Solskjaer in like the fifth position?
I think, to be honest, I definitely think that Man United are more than likely going to finish fifth this season.
And Chelsea
Although,
sixth.
yeah. Although Chelsea obviously do, I think they do have the capability to pull one out of the bag. Surprisingly, it might just because obviously Frank Lampard, he's adored by Chelsea fans and players, so he might just have that extra capability to
He'll definitely be given time.
push that little bit of respect. So
Yeah. So let's run through it quick. We're in agreement. City first, Liverpool second,
yeah,
us third,
yeah, yeah,
Scum fourth,
yeah,
United fifth,
and Chelsea sixth.
and Chelsea sixth. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy with that. Maybe chop and change between us and Spurs depending on our back line, but for now I'd love to see us finish above them.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move into the relegation. Who do you think's going down? Who's finishing bottom? Who's finishing 20th?
Ooh. Bottom, I would. Gosh, I need a refresh on like the
Bottom half of the table.
half now. Bottom half of the table. I would probably.
Well, the three
Who just
if
survived to this year? Because
the three that came up,
17th.
the three that came up was Sheffield Wednesday, Norwich, and Villa.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that just survived it were, of course, Newcastle, Palace, Brighton, Southampton, clubs like that. They're like the four that were really near it that survived.
Yeah. I guess there's potential. I would probably say last is hard to predict because there were so many. There were so many in that block. Brighton looking closest to shutting up shop to getting relegated last year, but I would probably. But just off that 3-0 game that they had, it's hard to say. Do you really think they're going to finish last this season? But I guess it could just be more down the line. But
No, I think
I
it'll be
would
one of the
probably
new
say
boys. In my opinion,
yeah. I
finish
probably
bottom.
yeah. I probably out of the new boys, I would probably say that Sheffield Wednesday have Sheffield Wednesday it is.
Or
Um,
Sheffield United or Wednesday, wherever it is. I can't remember. Sorry if I got that
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah. I think probably one of those two.
No, it's Sheffield
Have
United. Yeah, fuck, not Wednesday.
yeah, Sheffield United probably have the have the more than likely probably will finish 20th. 19th, I would
I
probably say oh, what do you think? Sorry, actually.
yeah, 20th. It's a toss up between Sheffield United and Norwich because both of them are barely invested, and Norwich have done no
Mm,
investment as far as I know, and Sheffield United have, but not a lot. Maybe a couple million spent. But out of the two,
yeah,
I think Norwich have that bit more experience in the Premier League over the past couple of years to not finish bottom.
yeah.
So yeah, Sheffield United bottom, 19th. Who do you think?
I would probably think Southampton.
That's a shout. That's actually
Uh,
a club that I would think would be in a relegation battle because every year they're getting closer and closer to going down, but somehow they
yeah.
survive.
The last year they survived because of Redmond. That purely is it. Redmond had an unbelievable um second half of the season where he was almost like he looked as dangerous as Sterling at times. But I think the thing is they had the capability of Redmond because he was off the roof and because
Well, they've let Charlie
he
Austin
had
go,
that.
haven't they? And then brought back
Yeah.
Danny Ings.
Yeah. To be honest, I think that it should have been like that. Charlie Austin never really looked good at Southampton.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he burst on the scene at QPR originally a few years back, didn't he? So
yeah, but you see, he just hasn't hit the same form since. Um, and then and then yeah, I just don't think Southampton defensively, it was proved that they weren't good enough defensively. Um,
yeah, but who's
and I
worse,
mean,
Southampton or Newcastle? That's another question.
uh, yeah, I'll probably still put my bets on Southampton because don't forget Newcastle had one of the best defenses
Yeah.
um, last year. Sorry,
Yeah. Sorry.
he's
Sorry.
on my lap and he's fidgeting a bit. Uh, yeah, come on, please. He wants to be with Mama.
All right.
Yeah, I think probably Southampton 19th out of their defensive record. Newcastle, I expect to finish outside the relegation zone, surprisingly. Although it really does depend whether Joeliton and that attack can actually
Yeah.
um, materialize. I think that
So
is one big I think that is one big worry that they need to
so
stop this
18th.
year. But yeah, 18th. But if they're going to stay out the season, it'll probably be 17th or 16th. So
So who's going 18th
yeah,
for you then? As your third?
yeah, it could be tied between Newcastle and Norwich, or actually Crystal Palace.
Well,
Um,
it depends if Zaha
yeah,
actually performs.
even still, it like yeah, if that's on a big if scenario if Zaha performs. By the looks of it, to be fair to him,
I think he'll
uh,
put his
at,
shift in.
at the at yeah at that Everton game, he definitely looked quite good. So
All right.
yeah,
So
I'll probably say yeah, that
so you're going Sheffield United one.
yeah
19th you said Southampton,
Southampton.
and 18th you'll go in Norwich. Did you say?
I, uh, yeah.
All right.
But see, I think it's tied between them and Newcastle
My bottom three:
or Crystal Palace. Yeah. What do you think?
Sheffield United bottom,
Yeah.
Norwich 19th. I just don't think they've got
Yeah.
enough either. And then I'm tied between I think it's three clubs here if I can do my math properly. Brighton, Southampton, and Newcastle. I think it's about
Yeah.
time Southampton go back down. I think it's about time that they regroup and like recalibrate together and come back up in a better force. Because I think they just keep getting lucky and lucky and lucky. They're doing a Sunderland at this point before Sunderland went down,
Yeah.
where they're getting lucky and lucky and
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah.
Newcastle, it depends, as you said, on the front line, if they click again, if they can get the back line working again. Steve Bruce, I don't think he's going to survive the job there, in my opinion. I don't think he's a right fit for them. He hasn't got a good track record of keeping clubs up. But then on top of that, Brighton just look weak as well. Like,
Yeah.
for a duration of a season. So I honestly think Sheffield United, Norwich, and Brighton. They're the three that are going down for me.
Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton. Yeah.
Either. Yeah. I think. Yeah. With the creativity that they lacked last season, I definitely don't think it's improved. They made a couple signings, but it's not
Yeah.
like it's not big. It's not big game changers. So
Yeah. Like I feel
Yeah.
like these clubs are less equipped than say like a Villa. I know people comparing Villa to Fulham, like saying, oh, they're going to spend all this money and go straight back down. But no, I see Fulham in my mind growing up watching the Premier League. Not Fulham, Aston Villa are a Premier League team and everything in my mind,
Yeah,
no matter
yeah,
what and everything. And I feel like
Yeah.
once they get clicking and get going, they will stay up. Like they'll be playing well. Like
Yeah.
so.
And again they did look really good in that Tottenham game actually.
It was just near the end they ran out of steam. Like,
Yeah, it's just opened up a little bit and inevitably paid the price. But I think what they've got to know, and what I think Trezeguet. Well, I'm going a little bit off on
Yeah.
Aston Villa run, but just like with the signings that they made, and then we're obviously starting Trezeguet. Obviously, like I didn't know the guy, but apart from that, he got a team of the season this year on FIFA. So, but I think even him playing out left, right mid, and checker
Don't know.
back Rose, and
Yeah.
checker back Rose, that's already enough to get you stay in the Premier League. If you track back the left backs and right backs, then you have a better chance at staying
Yeah.
in the Premier League than most clubs, which I think was Fulham's biggest downfall, and I think that's why Schürrle pretty much got secluded from the squad, because he just didn't know what hard work was. So
Yeah, but time will tell. Obviously, we've done our top lot, we've done our bottom lot. We'll definitely come back to this at the end of the season to see if we're right or wrong. But overall, yep, we've been through quite a bit, and we predicted the game. We spoke about the Özil and Klasnat thing, and yeah, we predicted our top 6 and our bottom 3. So, bring on the weekend, bring on tomorrow. I believe we play early kickoff, and hopefully, when we're discovering about and crying about Liverpool next week, we are talking about a win against Burnley.
yeah,
So, Ali, thank
Yeah.
you for joining me again. It's been a pleasure.
so it's good to be here.
Yeah.
I always enjoy it.
Hope Loki's well.
Oh yeah, I'm
So,
him now. So
yeah. Anyway, guys, this can be the end of this episode of the Arsenal discussion. Of course, leave your comments below, like, and don't forget to, most importantly, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, we'll be back next week for the talk of the Liverpool game, and hopefully, as I just said, discuss an Arsenal win. So for now, see you guys later, and yeah, peace.